Bienvenidos, bienvenidas, queridos oyentes. Una vez más estamos aquí con un artista internacional. Es un placer para mí introducirlos a este artista que tiene sobre todo un repertorio muy interesante. Y hoy presento nada más y nada menos que a Magon. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Feel great because you're here. So, first of all, please introduce yourself. Please tell us about your project, about how you are in Costa Rica now. And
Uh,
yeah, that's it. Like the beginning of everything.
well, I'm Magon, and I'm a musician. I'm Israeli originally. I was born in Israel, and I think in 2009 I moved to France. So 14 years ago. I was around 23, 20, 24, something like that. Maybe 2, 3 years after I started making music. So I started late, and not like most people I know started when they were teens or kids. Um, I started in Israel. You have the mandatory military service, so I started really focusing on music after that. And I met some people on online, and I had some French friends, and I met a French girl, and I had a French girlfriend. At the beginning from far, and then she came to Israel to meet me, and then I moved and lived with her in France. And yeah, so I had we had our musical project together for quite some time, and then at one point, eventually, we broke up, and I stayed in France, and I launched my own solo project under the name Magon, which is my stage name, which is a conjunction of my first and last name. So my first name is Alon, and my last name is Magen, and together it's like Magon. And I know that in Spanish there is a famous Magon, I think a Mexican, but that I learned after. So yeah, and in 2019 I released my first album, my first solo album. Ever since I released 6 albums, my sixth album was released last month in June. So I have a record label in France that stayed with me, even though I moved to Costa Rica 1 year ago. And yeah, now I live in Costa Rica, and I still keep on making records, and planning on touring in Europe, something like once a year, and why not in South Central America, South America? But at this point, Europe, I already have something built there, so that's probably going to happen for sure. And for America, we're going to see.
That sounds pretty great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't know that you were from the Israel. That's pretty nice. Well, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
You say that you did the military service. That's also interesting because maybe there was some experience that you come to your music.
I think so. I think it was, everything that you experience in life is part of who you are. And so for sure, it influenced me. But I think maybe the thing that I can say that was the most important in my military service is that I think I went through a certain depression during the military service because I didn't like it at all. I didn't like getting orders. I didn't like this hierarchical structure, and I think that it went so bad for me that from there I had to emerge in something that I really love doing, and something that I can express myself in it, and I can be myself, and that I can do whatever I want and don't have to fulfill anybody's orders. So I think being an artist in general was the direction, and I was trying all kinds of stuff. Actually, I was trying photography. I was trying making movies, and I tried music, and music stuck. It was really like when I started making music at one point, I said, well, music is really the thing for me. Um, so I think in that way, the military service was for sure, part of my musical journey. But also, I also used some imagery sometimes in some songs, and kind of like drew kind of like stuff from my experience there in kind of like more imagery way in the lyrics of the songs, etc.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's, well, so much stuff that happens in military service. Yeah, the orders and that stuff are hard. I think that are hard. But
Yeah.
let's talk about music.
Yeah.
How all the project start? You say that you have a project before, but now this you are solo. So tell us how all these projects start.
So I think in 2018 I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, and I think before that I didn't allow myself, when I was with her in the project, I didn't really allow myself to think even of doing music on my own, because we were very um, like a very much symbiosis, and everything we did was together. And the moment we broke up, I started having the thought, and I think it took maybe 3 months until I wrote my first song in 2018. And I don't know, very quickly things started I started writing, producing more songs and recording them on my own, and it started going really, really quickly. And I think I launched already in July. I released the first single, "The Streets," which is one of the songs, one of my still favorite songs of the fans up until today. And I kept releasing at the beginning singles because I had to build the album, and it took a bit of time at the beginning. I built a band, so I think it took me 6 months. I already knew a lot of people in France and in Paris, especially in the music industry. So it was not like starting from zero. It was already, I had a lot of experience, and I knew how to produce and how to mix and how to do everything. So I was ready, So I was very happy. I started at a place where I knew already a lot, and I had a lot of experience. And I think in 2019, in October, so I found a manager, and then he helped me find a record label in France. And in October already, my first album was released, Out in the Dark. And yeah, and ever since, that's the only thing I'm doing. I mean, that's my day job. That's I'm waking up, I'm writing songs, or I'm recording, or I'm mixing, or I'm making a music video, or working with an artist on the cover art or something like that. So that's ever since 2019 or the end of 2018. That's been my only thing, the only thing I did. So yeah,
That's great. I was thinking that I don't know, love and I don't know, a lot of stuff that you have when we broke up with someone. Well, your music has a lot of, I don't know, styles, and in that way, maybe you would like to tell us about your style. I don't know, maybe what type of style do you think defines your, I don't know, music style?
I think that like you can all kinds of rock influences, from like soft rock to folk rock to psychedelic rock, are always psychedelic rock. Did they say art rock? So I like all. I think I like a lot of oldie stuff, but from all the oldie eras, and also blues. So I think this is kind of like my influences. I think that a lot of journalists, especially the first albums, would compare to the Pixies, and I think that it's not for nothing. It's one of my favorite bands already since I was a teen. So I really like the Pixies, but I'm not the Pixies, you know. So it's not like
Yeah,
as if
but the thing is that the Beatles,
yeah.
I don't know, the Beatles have like a magic. I don't know. For me, the Beatlemania is real nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Beatles. I love the Beatles. I mean, it depends also which album and when. I think nowadays I'm more like into. I had a period with Paul McCartney solo discography actually, and I listened to this a lot. And before that, it was John Lennon, and uh, and uh, and I guess because I'm a solo artist, I am more prone now to be into also like to solo artists. So like Bob Dylan is my god, you know, is everything. You know, it's like I admire him and his work and the amount of work and the depth of his work and his attitude and everything. And the Beatles, yeah, of course, I know everything. I know all the songs, so I'm certainly influenced by the Beatles. And then there are also bands that are more like obscure. There is a band that is called only in the last 3 years, but I think they have big influence on me. They're called the Incredible String Band. Did you hear of them?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The Incredible String Band is now one of my favorite bands. They were like in Woodstock, but I think their show didn't go very well. I think that they didn't really in the '60s they were big, and then somehow they disappeared out of like public conscience. So today they are not very known at all. I mean, it took me years to discover them. I never heard of them. Then I found one song in a movie that I liked from the '70s, and then I discovered this song. And like maybe only 2-3 years later, I started listening to the other stuff, and I really fell in love. They're like I think they're a Scottish band. They're really really amazing in their style, and it's very different than from what I started to do, because my songs were always drum oriented, and like I always had drums, and the Incredible String Band doesn't have drums. They have percussion, but they're more like, and I think that I am, if now I have sometimes in my albums a song without drums and everything, it must be this influence to kind of like go out of the only, well, always like the drums that are carrying the song, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about, I don't know, maybe is there any recurrent thing or messages in your songs that you used to do when you write? Talk about your writing process.
Yeah, well, generally my process. So in the past, I think for 2 years, I released 4 albums. So I think in 2001, 2 albums, 2002, 2 albums, and this year one, but I will actually release two because I already finished also my seventh album.
Yeah.
So basically, I do every 6 months an album, and I think that it's like more or less 3 months writing, 3 months recording, and mixing and producing and everything. So my writing process will always be like a 2-3 months process in which I don't go to the studio. I live life with the family. I'm usually more with the kids. Usually more working less like hours, because producing, recording, it takes time. You know, this part takes a lot of time. Mixing takes hours. I can work 10 hours a day. When I write, it's I can work 1 hour, 2 hours a day, but it has to be good stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't put much pressure. But even that, you know, between album and album, it's different moods, different. I'm going through different things in my life, so sometimes I'm more pressured to write. Nowadays, I'm writing, but I'm more like taking it easy and letting stuff come to me. I think I'm a bit in advance, so I'm not that in a hurry to finish writing what will be the eighth album. But yeah, what I like to do in my process in recent, I think maybe in the last 4 albums already, is to kind of I come up with the idea and I record it on my iPhone as quick as something comes to me. and usually the whole essence, if it's a good idea, the whole essence of the song is there. And then I try to stay true to this original recording and not to lose the purity of whatever was there. So obviously I don't come up with all the words in one take, but there are a few words that come, and I think that these words are always very meaningful because they came naturally. So this is one way I can go, but there are many ways. Also, sometimes I tried for my eighth album, I tried to write something using Chat GPT because I thought maybe it can be funny to.
No way, that's great.
Yeah.
The other day we were talking with a guy from USA. He said like, I'm afraid about my music career because ChatGPT can write songs.
Yeah, I can tell you that after trying and working with it a bit, I wouldn't, it's like it can write, but it cannot. It doesn't write really good.
Yeah,
it doesn't write something. I mean, at least not something that fits to me. So I would take a thing or two from it. Some ideas that it suggests, and then mold them to into my lyrics. But
yeah, it's a great tool. I think. I
think so. I think it's great. Yeah, I think you shouldn't be afraid. It's like, when photography came and all the painters were like,
my paintings.
Yeah, it's not real art. It's not. And then there is a place for photography, and there is a place for painting, and there will be a place for that too. And I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna take away the job. People want to connect to real humans, and to real feelings, and only humans can do that. So as a tool, I think it's a great tool, actually. But you need to know how to work with it. And it helped me. It helped me quite. But it's the first time I'm using it. So now for what will be my eighth album, what I'm writing now. So that's cool. Before that, I would use Google sometimes. Once I have this song called Halley's Comet. You know what's Halley's Comet?
No. What's that?
It's a comet that is passing that every 75 years or something like that. It's passing Earth in a way that you can see it with your bare eyes. So you can see the comet flying in the sky. And I didn't know what it was when I started writing the song, but I had this melody and this idea, and I had this idea. It happens only once in a century, something like that. And then I Googled what happens once in a century, and then I read about Halley's Comet, and it's written like on the Wikipedia of Wiki.
Yeah, I didn't remember the name. Yeah, but Halley. Yeah, for sure. I remember.
So I changed it from once in a century to once or twice in a century. So that's how the song goes. It happens only once or twice in a century, visible to the naked eye. So it was really a funny song because I used Wikipedia page to write the lyrics. It was it's almost like a knowledgeful song. But then also in the song I connected to myself. I say at one point, like, it happened when I was 1 year old, because that's the last time it happened was 1986, and I was born in 1985. So yeah, I really liked that how this song came about, because it was like kind of like I didn't have.
Great. I know.
You learn as you write, you learn something new from the song, and that's a nice way to write music, also to explore, to learn new stuff, and sometimes I would go to kind of lists of poetic words and learn new words and say, maybe I can use this word here, I can use this word there, but how if it fits the song, if it fits the style, the energy that already exists in my idea, usually, so.
Yeah, the experimentation.
There are many other ways. Yeah, there are many. There are many different ways that a song can come about. But yeah, the Wikipedia, sometimes it's fun, or or ChatGPT can be cool. Like, for example, I told it once to write a song and the lyrics of a song, and it was really bad. And it told try in a rap style, and then it was pretty good. There was some good stuff there. Because
Yeah,
all of a
that's pretty
sudden the
cool.
rhyme, yeah, yeah.
I was thinking that the other day I used to write poetry, and I was like, maybe ChatGPT could do it, and I give the instructions, and yeah, it was like metric, like A here and another A here and another A here, and here goes an E, and here goes another things that were like a specific type of poetry. So I was like, oh, that's great, thank you. And in
Yeah,
this, yeah, in this
yeah.
process, you can you have to be open
And it
because
worked well for you. It
yeah,
worked well for you.
that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe if people is just like mind open with this, some good, some very good stuff will release. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think?
I think I think so. I think it's a good tool. So if it can enhance your song in one way or another, why not? At the end, you're the judge. You're the boss. You have to do the work. You have to choose. If it's good or not. If it fits. From my experience, sometimes it's really bad. Sometimes I tried and it was so bad and it was just getting worse. So I just abandoned the chat at all. And
Yeah,
sometimes
maybe
like, I
you
don't
have to
know,
train it. You
surprisingly
have to
good.
train it.
You have to train it, and I think also it's like kind of like sometimes when you try too much to explain to it, it's even worse. I feel.
Yeah,
It's
she's
like
like, it's worked for you. No, okay.
yeah.
Here's another answer. And it's
Yeah,
like,
I
no, no.
apologize for the. I apologize
Yeah, I
for the
apologize because
yeah. I'm
that's
sorry you
pretty
don't like
fun. That's
what I.
pretty fun. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about, I don't know, maybe your particular or I don't know, like routines when you go to the studio, because many other artists have like, I don't know, first of all, I will have my mind clean because I will stay at the studio. I will stay at the stage. I will be like totally happy. Oh my god, what's that? Sounds like a like. Oh,
You heard that from
did you
me?
hear that? Oh my god,
No, I didn't hear.
maybe maybe it was an accident. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I tried really. Oh, wow.
Yeah, my dog's
I
barking.
hope not. I sure hope not.
Well, oh my god, all the dogs are crazy. This podcast
Yeah.
always happen the most crazy things. So let's wait that
Yeah,
the dogs stop barking, barking and
for sure.
crazy. Yeah, maybe it was like, I don't know. Did you hear it?
I just heard, but the microphone compresses it, so it just sounded like a book fell or something.
Well, it stops.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
let's start again. Do you have any routine or maybe ritual before going to the stage or entering the studio?
Honestly, not. I don't have any ritual, or I'm kind of usually like need to be in a kind of like stressed mood when I'm recording, because I think one day in the studio and you realize that there is a lot of work to do, it requires a lot of energy and a lot of focus. Because also, if you don't come, if you come too distracted, then you won't get anything done. To be focused, try to get the things done well. And no, I don't have any routine, but my daughter has a routine that after 1 hour in the studio, she will usually come and enter. And I will probably record the drums or record, usually when the drums, because she hears the drums from the studio is in the back of our house. So she would hear the drums, so it would remind her of me, and she would come to the studio in the middle of the take or something. Sometimes it's in a hard moment where like I'm having a good vocal take and she enters, and I have to stop in the middle. But I I kind of like it and I accept it. I always leave the door open. I mean, not I don't never lock it for her to come and to be able to be there, and to see me work. I think maybe it's good for her to see that. But as it goes for me, just going to the studio, trying to get the most out of it as fast as possible, so that I can finish the album.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your your relationship with the fans. You have a big relation with the fans, like I don't know, maybe in the social media, like oh my god, I forget a question, a very important question.
Yeah.
Please give us your social media, like I don't know, Spotify, like Instagram and
Yeah.
SoundCloud.
Well, on Spotify, I'm Magon. Magon. That's all. I think if you write Magon, you will find me. Hopefully, And I think there are other Magons there, but if you see a guy with a long hair, uh, then that's me. And on Instagram, I'm Magon Official. I think on YouTube the same, Magon Official. So yeah, that's where I am. And yeah, please subscribe. Yeah.
Please share him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know the relation with your fans. You have, I don't know, maybe do you have presentation like live presentations or
Uh,
maybe like jam sessions or I don't know, tiny jam session with your fans?
with fans, well, when I was I think most of my fans are still in France. I'm still in Paris. So I moved 1 year ago. So my last show was one day before I moved. We moved on the 1st of July, 2022, and on the 30th, I had the show in Paris. So everybody was there, and my friends, and also my fans, and it was a great show. And ever since I didn't play, it's been 1 year. Also, my girlfriend was pregnant at the time with our second child. So when we arrived to Costa Rica, our son was born here. So my shows are on a halt. But before that, I played a lot. I played a lot in France. I played in Europe too. I played in Belgium. I was supposed to play in Portugal and Spain, a tour that was canceled because of COVID. So that is a part of my music that have had to take a stop. But now I'm staying with my booker I have a booker from Portugal, and I'm saying if he will do maybe a whole Europe tour in 2024. So that will be a great way to connect with the fans. And apart from that, I have fans writing to me on Instagram a lot, and I have a lot of followers on Spotify too. So I get the feeling that like it's happening, and that there is that my music is listened to, and that's a great sense. That's a great. It was not always like that since I started making music. So I have a feeling that people are interested in what I do, and some media too. Especially in France, but also from other places, from Spain, for example, and Germany. So I feel like that fans do want to connect, and I'm not like the social media guy who will post every day or something like that, but I do. If a fan writes to me, I would always answer and talk. And some fans really they like before, like they buy a vinyl or before they buy CD to kind of like do it through me and to talk to me first. And I can understand the desire for fans to connection with the artist, you know, because if they know the artist, it makes it more personal and makes it something more for some, not for everybody. Some people I think like to not know the person at all and to have a distance from the music, but some
Yeah.
fans like the connection. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about in the, I don't know, last question maybe, I don't know, the last album that has like few days that came out. So
Yeah.
how was it?
It was great. Did you hear the kids? I think it's one of my favorite albums. It's for real, you know. Sometimes I finish an album and I mean I don't. I have a desire to disconnect from it, but this one I listened to it a lot before it came out. I didn't. I in between the release and the time I finished making it, I made another album, so I didn't think about it for a long time. But then before the release, I came back to it and I said, "Wow, I really like this one. You know, it really is a special one." And I really love the cover also, which was made by my friend Mihaela, with a Moldovan artist that I met in Paris. She's now based in Paris, France. And yeah, she used actually a collage from a photo of our daughter here in Costa Rica. And it was the first album also I recorded in Costa Rica. So I was, I think, a bit stressed because I made all my first 5 albums in the same studio in France. And then all of a sudden I moved and I took 3 luggages of material here, not everything, you know, as much as I could here to Costa Rica. And I was like, is it going to sound good? How is it going to be? And it was a bit challenging, you know. I didn't have like an acoustically isolated place, so I had to change the type of microphones I'm using. But at the end, I think that because it was in a new place, it made it even more special and more connected to and more excited. I don't know how to say, something like that. And so that was the recording I did in one place. Then we moved to another place because at the beginning we didn't have a stable house here. And I finished it in Puerto Viejo in the Caribbeans in a beautiful cabin near the sea. And I mixed it for 1 month. And my wife's mother was there. So it was very important because after our son was born and we needed a bit of help. And that's what allowed me to work for so many hours because I worked like crazy for 1 month finishing this album.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that there are really great already, like a great. I feel a lot of great feedback about the album. I feel like it's just the beginning, you know. I'm not. I feel like an album is born to the world, but sometimes it takes a year. Sometimes for the album, like my third album, In the Blue, I think at the beginning there was not a lot of noise, but now it's my most, I think, listened to album, for example. So it takes time for the album to kind of like expand and reach everybody, and even for the fans, the day you release an album, they just listen to it once, you know, and sometimes you need to listen to an album twice, 3 times, 4 times to really get it
for connecting. I usually when you do the interviews, I usually listen all the music of the artists. Like I just hear today you. I was listening to you. Yeah, I was listening to you all the day because I was like, I need to connect. And for sure I did it. Cool. I did it because the energy, I don't know, maybe the lyrics, even the harmony, is everything like pretty cool and connect with me in a special way. I don't know. It's great to have you here.
That's really cool. What did you listen to? What did you listen to?
Oh, all your music, dude. I was listening to all that. Yeah, all the day.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear. Honestly, it really makes me happy. You know.
Yeah.
That's why we make the music for. You know. So yeah.
From Out Dark to do you hear the gits, everything. I don't know, even the singles. I was like, wow. Yeah. And there was, I don't know. and here it's raining. I don't know
Maybe.
if in Costa Rica is rainy, but here is, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days that it's rain and rain and rain, and
Mm.
your music plus rain, it's great.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, here it rains in the afternoons. It's the rainy season, but not right now. It's not raining. So yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Magun, what's an honor to have you here because I don't know your energy, your I don't know, maybe the other day that you come here with, I don't know, Angelica will be here. That is the other podcaster with me, the co-founder of the club, will be here with me because
yeah.
today was traveling, so she came here. But yeah, for sure, the next time that you come, she will be here and we'll talk about everything. I don't know, maybe one only album, and we can talk about everything of the album. I don't know, too much.
Con gusto. Whenever you want.
Well,
Whenever you want. Yeah, it was really a pleasure talking to you, Santiago. Really. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, Thanks for contacting me and having me on your show.
yeah. Well, for all the people that is here, thank you for being with us, and well, goodbye. And Magun,
Good.
please say goodbye to the people, and remember your social media like Magun official,
Yeah.
in everywhere. So Magun,
Yeah.
say goodbye.
Yes, I'm still here. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Santiago, for having me. And yeah, and talk soon, hopefully.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye,
All
people.
right. Bye. Bye bye.